Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about why Antifa must be declared a terrorist organization nationwide at this point. They've done so much terroristic shit, it's not even funny, dude. That's why they need to be declared a terrorist organization. They should have been declared one a long time ago. Honestly, the 2020 riots should have been the last day that they were not a terrorist organization in this country, if even before that, for that matter, because they've done so much terroristic shit, depending on the states here is what it is. And most recently, we're going to talk about the shit that went on in Atlanta here, and everything going on there is what it is, as why they must be declared a terrorist organization now. I'm going to basically call up my General Assembly members this coming week and demand that they actually put legislation through and pass it through immediately to declare Antifa a terrorist organization, because at least one of the guys who was arrested at the Atlanta Chaz was actually from here in Ohio, in some part of Randolph, I believe is what it was. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit. And of course, then they've had a whole night of rage or some stupid shit like that is what it was the other day. So we're going to talk about that right now. Over here at Breitbart. And yeah. Leftist riot in Atlanta, light police car on fire and break windows. So apparently the backstory on this was about a year and a half ago, give or take, you had Antifa, who apparently had been trying to stop some place from being erected. It was basically a cop barracks and some other areas like that for like a training facility and stuff like that. It was something that was approved back in, I believe it was either 2001 or 2002 from the Atlanta City Council back then. And it's basically been an ongoing thing since then. And because of that, you've had, basically 20 years now, and showing exactly how slowly government works on this is what it is. It took them fucking 20 years to actually get to this point where they actually want to, create this facility finally is what it is. And I think actually some of the delays probably had to do with the fact that you did have the lockdowns and stuff like that. And, everything was basically shut down for like a year and a half, depending on the state is what it was. So I could see it being that's why it just got started like in the last year or two is what it was. But other than that, what's basically been happening there is you've had, this bunch of forest area that these bunch of dumbasses in Antifa who want to act like they're a bunch of homeless people when half of them are fucking, children of multimillionaires. The one guy that was arrested for terrorism here a few months back now, 100% was a son of a multimillionaire doctor or something like that. And yeah, they're basically erecting these weird little fucking makeshift homeless encampments is what it is there in the Atlanta forest area. And you had apparently police the other day were going in to flush a bunch of them out or whatever, like the stragglers that were left from the last roundup and stuff like that. You had one of these motherfucking dumbasses come out armed, start shooting at the cops, ended up, I don't know if he killed a trooper or if he just seriously wounded a trooper is what it was. And then you had a bunch of other state police shoot back at them and straight up kill that person. Rightfully so, because you're fucking engaging with officers that you fire first on and expect them not to take your ass out is what it is, dude. Like, that's just common sense that they're going to do that, honestly. It's the same thing that happened there in Dayton, Ohio, during the Dayton massacre back in 2019. You had that BLM and Antifa affiliated fuckstick back then who went on that killing spree, and as soon as the Dayton cops came back around about a minute or two later, they engaged with their patrolmen's rifles and everything else like that and smoked that stupid son of a bitch, dude, because he was too stupid to actually get the proper level plate carriers and the proper level plates for the carrier is what it was. And instead of having rifle calibrated plates, his dumbass had pistol calibrated plates, and it was like ding ding, fucking Dayton cop took his bitch ass out is what it was, dude. And good job, Dayton police, for taking the fucking trash out and saving Ohio millions of dollars in taxpayer money to feed, clothe, house, etc. that fucking piece of crap, as well as pissing away money on his fucking trials. And honestly, this is what he's happening to everybody at this point, dude. The fact that you have the piece of shit who did El Paso the day before Dayton recently being charged federally and not being given the death penalty there is fucking ridiculous as well, dude. Because again, why let these fucking pieces of shit fucking live in a 8x10 cell or whatever the hell it's going to be at that point for the next 30, 40 years of their lives, trying to appeal convictions potentially, pissing away taxpayer money, pissing away meals on these fucking pieces of shit, dude. Like, nah, fuck that, dude. Just kill them. Seriously. If you're gonna murder a bunch of people in cold blood, That's how you need to die. You need to die by fucking firing squad. It's that simple, honestly, dude, at the end of the day. So, anyway, going back to this article, though, about the night of rage that occurred because of the whole thing in Atlanta there. And honestly, the guy that they have in this picture kind of looks like somebody that used to be part of some chats before, but I'm not. I hope it's not the same person, honestly, dude, because that'd be sad. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, though, honestly. Anyway, it said, I'm going to call it what it is. Far left terrorists, they're not protesters, they're terrorists, rioted in downtown Atlanta on Saturday evening, lighting a police car on fire and breaking businesses' windows. Said the riot, protest reportedly began as a, quote, mostly peaceful demonstration in response to the death of 26-year-old dipshit who was killed during a police sweep on Wednesday in what the Georgia Bureau of Investigation said was the exchange of gunfire with police that wounded a state trooper. Okay, so it was wounding. Let's see. It said trooper remains unidentified and is reportedly in stable condition after being taken to hospital for surgery. Prior to the rioting, these ass clown terrorists, Antifa, chanted, no justice, no peace, no killer police, and stop Cop City, which refers to the name of the Atlanta police training site. Said, quote, they also chanted stop police terror, even though they're fucking terrorists, free the activists, except you're fucking terrorists, and drop the charges, referring to how at least 7 other individuals have been arrested and charged with domestic terrorism in connection with Wednesday's law enforcement operation in the southern DeKalb County woods. So one person attempted to also chant, if they build it, we will burn it, in reference to the city's plans to build a training center for police and firefighters. Okay, so it actually is not just police. I thought it was just police. So apparently it's police and firefighters. So it'd be first responder training facility, what it is, dude. Within several acres of forested land in the DeKalb County area. Said the riot eventually turned violent. Of course it is, because they're fucking rioters at this whole point. So with police cars being set ablaze, while businesses were broken into, police responded to multiple instances of property damage along Peachtree Street. The Atlanta Police Federation also had its glass doors smashed in. And there's obviously videos from over TikTok and here. And as pointed out, said Fox 5 Atlanta pulls a CNN, quote, largely peaceful protest in their news segment about the violent attack on downtown Atlanta by Antifa and far-left extremists. Mayor just confirmed the arrestees were found with explosives. Seriously, how the fuck are these people not declared domestic terrorists at this point, dude? When they're running around with fucking explosives, burning fucking cop cars, breaking into businesses, burning down cities, etc., for like a fucking decade now is what it is, dude, at least. It's fucking ridiculous entirely, dude. Anyway, so several arrests have been made at this time, and order has been restored to the downtown space. This is still an active and ongoing investigation, and we will not be able to provide specific details on arrest numbers or property damage at this time, so the Atlanta PD. Said Mayor Andre Dickens also said at a police conference, thanks to the quick action of our public safety officials working together, order has been restored in a swift manner. Said, quote, the city of Atlanta and the Atlanta PD will not tolerate this. Okay, so will not tolerate this, and we will continue to protect the right to peacefully protest. We will not tolerate violence or property destruction, he added. So here's the problem with that, dude. Anytime the left does anything, it's always going to be a fucking riot. It's not going to be a protest. It's not going to be a peaceful protest. This thing, and this is the problem right now, dude. With, and again, I'm not going to sit here and try to be hypocritical or anything like that, dude. But like, I 100% agree that, everyone technically should have the right to assemble under the First Amendment, right? The problem is when you have, 20, 50, 80, 100, 200, 300, whatever it is, dipshits all in fucking black masks and shit like that, all in black bloc, identifiable and stuff like that, dude, or anything else for that matter. Anybody cover their faces, thing kind of thing at that point. If you are gearing up with your faces covered, you're obviously trying to not be identified so you cannot be arrested later for the criminal act you're about to commit is what it is, dude. And that is why, honestly, even with the First Amendment, even with the right to assemble, there really should be a law in the books in all 50 states at this point in history, dude, where every single county across this country has a en masse requirement. If you're going to demonstrate, you got to do it en masse, dude, period. And if you're not willing to be en masse, then you're going to be arrested, is what it is. And that's what it needs to be right now, dude. And that's how you restore law and order properly, is what it is, dude. Because I guarantee you, you'd have Antifa show up all black bloc and shit like that, dude, and they'd be arresting us positive to be them, man. And then start slapping them with domestic terrorism charges, what they should have got slapped with fucking, 6-7 years ago is what it is, dude. Because that's the problem. It's a bunch of whiny, crybaby bitches is what it is, dude. That want to sit there and act like they're all hot shit and tough and everything else like that when they're nothing when it's one-on-one and stuff like that. It's only when they're this big-ass group of fucking little shitbird wannabe foxes or hyenas or something like that, dude, that they think they're all fucking, invincible and stuff like that. And when you start, knocking back and stuff like that, you start ding, knocking them out and stuff like that, dude. They ain't nothing, They run like a bunch of fucking cowards that they actually are is what it is, dude. Because they're a bunch of fucking pussies is what it ends up being, dude. And the problem is when you got these Soros DAs like your Mike Schmitz and stuff like that in Portland, Oregon, or your Kim Foxes in Chicago, or any of these other motherfuckers like your Jose Garza's in Atlanta and stuff like that, dude. Or not Atlanta, Austin, Texas. Or I'm sure there's one there in Atlanta as well, for that matter. I don't know what the name is at this point, though. But that's the point, though. You have all these Soros paid puppets, these Soros DAs, that'll give these motherfuckers slaps on the fucking wrist, misdemeanor charges, if anything at all, instead of hitting them with hardcore felonies at this point, dude. Because that's the thing. First of all, when you're carrying around explosives, pretty sure that actually goes federal immediately because of the fucking ATF, dude. Like, there's a reason why they're the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. So how is that not a federal case at that point, right? Like, that's what I don't understand at all. And that's the thing, man. You rather have the ATF fuck around with legal gunners in this country than actually go after, I don't know, hardcore extremists and actual fucking terrorists in this country because, shocker, Antifa, just like BLM, are the violent terrorist arms of the Democrat Party is what it is, dude. It's exactly why you had Kamala Harris and Joe Biden during 2020 riots and stuff like that, dude. Bail fund these motherfuckers. Maybe not Biden specifically, but I know for a fact Kamala definitely fucking funded that bail fund is what it was, dude. She was the one pimping that shit out and put like some cash to it herself, if I'm not mistaken, and then had other people donate to it as well, is what it was. And yeah, she was the one that basically helped create that shit is what it was, dude, for 100%. Biden, because he's so, out of his fucking mind is what it is, dude, maybe not had 100%, hands in it is what it was, but yeah, you had that fucking administration be actively funding terrorists is what it is, dude. And it's like, how the hell are they still in office at that point, man? Any of them. It's just fucking crazy, dude. So, yeah, it really just bothers the shit out of me, man. But, anyways, it's just a shit show. It really is just a shit show, man. And I think, honestly, the only way we fix this is legitimately you declare Antifa a terrorist organization nationwide at this point. And if you're not going to do it nationwide, then it's time for states to do it state by state, just like we do with constitutional carry, man. You got the same 25, 30 states that are going to do constitutional carry. You have those same exact states pass fucking their own bans on Antifa and stuff like that at this point, dude, and declare them terrorist organizations. Do the same thing with BLM, do the same thing with RevCom, do the same thing with Fuse Fascism, do the same thing with all these other leftist organizations like that. They're all a bunch of terror cells is what it is, dude. You can't sit there and honestly tell me that the revolutionary communists are not a fucking terrorist cell. You cannot honestly tell me that the quote-unquote refuse fascism that does fascist fucking tactics like burn down fucking police cars and other shit just like Antifa does isn't a fucking terrorist organization, dude. You can't tell me that Black Lives Matter when they're going out there and fucking destroying every major city in this country in 2020 over fucking fentanyl Floyd that they ain't a fucking terrorist organization, dude. When their fucking chapter heads like Cory Bush and stuff like that are allowed to get into office and then shit talk fucking the defundment of law enforcement and stuff like that, dude. Like, how is that bitch still in Congress, honestly? That's my question right now. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because she's a fucking Democrat. That's what it is, dude. Because it was literally her fucking taking a bunch of money from the BLM organization, shoving it in her own campaign, money laundering, to get into office is what it was, dude. And then she's sitting there paying, while being a fucking hypocrite piece of shit, talking about defunding the cops, sitting there paying $700, $800, $900, $1 million plus, $900,000 million plus dollars for fucking private security in like a 6 month to a year time span. It's a bunch of bullshit, dude. Entirely, I'm sick and tired of it. So, anyway, But yeah, it's time for Antifa to be declared a terrorist organization, period. It's time for them to finally get what's coming to them. And honestly, it's time to start fighting back, dude, as Americans. And honestly, before we leave today, I'm going to talk about that one for a second now. This comes to us out of Chicago, of all places, which is Chicago concealed carrier shoots alleged robber on train. About fucking time, dude. Chicago concealed carry permit holder pulled his gun and shot an alleged intruder a little after 5 p.m. on Friday on the CTA Green Line train. Said Fox News now reported that 33-year-old alleged robber approached a 25-year-old and pulled a gun on him. 25-year-old then pulled his own gun and shots were exchanged. 25-year-old was not hit by any of the rounds by the robber, but the robber was shot and taken to the hospital, quote, in fair condition. A train passenger said, I actually take a knife with me everywhere I go because I don't feel safe on public transportation anymore. It's crazy that you have to worry about defending your own life. It says 25-year-old has a FOID card and is a concealed carry license holder in the city of Chicago. Green Line train was shut down temporarily and services began reopening around 7:30 p.m. that night. So here's my thing with all that, right? This is what people need to do at this point, dude. And that's what I'm saying. I don't blame that fucking that Xavier Hartford guy that was the train passenger saying he carried a knife with him, dude. Shit, man. Before I owned a fucking gun in this country and I was selling to Columbus, I carried a fucking knife with me. You know why? Because I was legitimately fucking assaulted down there. I'm not going to go into details about what happened with the assault, dude, but just know I was assaulted when I lived in Columbus and it was not cool, bro. I had to testify in fucking court against people that were my fucking assailants. And I will never be a victim ever again in this country. That's that simple, honestly, dude. That's why I created the network. It's why I've created a bunch of other stuff. It's why I'm a gunner now. It's why I will fight for the Second Amendment rights of myself and others, because I will never be victimized again. And if you try to victimize me, literally fuck around and find out, dude, because it's going to be very much similar to what happened there on the Chicago trains, what will be, dude. So, anyway. But yeah, that's about where we're at right now. I'll be back at some point in the next couple of days. I don't know exactly what we'll be doing then. I'll probably be doing the first cube thing for my MTG cube on Monday then. At some point, I'm not sure exactly the time though for it. But we'll be going over some of the cards in that one and just discussing the cube in general and stuff like that. But other than that, I'll be back sometime next week with another grandstand of some kind. We really just need to start bringing back the Friday 2A podcast at this point, but I don't know what number it is at this point, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's the only reason I really haven't done it anymore is because I seriously don't know the fucking number that we're actually on right now. I don't feel like going and looking it up anymore. So, whereas I know that we're at, 125 for the grandstands now, and it'll be 126 in the next one. So, but, yeah, needless to say, bunch of crazy shit happening. Antifa needs to be declared a terrorist organization in this country, period. And it's time to start fighting back, dude. It's time to start fighting back against the left. It's time to start fighting back. It's time to start fighting against politicians, fighting back for our rights. It's time to say not one more goddamn inch and start shoving back and taking back some of our rights, honestly, whether it be in court battles or otherwise. I prefer the court battles personally just because, I prefer not to see bloodshed is what it is, I would prefer to take down organizations, alphabet agencies, et cetera, dude, through legal means without a shot of being fired. And I think we can do it, honestly. We just need to start working together is what it is, man. You need to start funding these companies. Actually, I would say, if anything, what we would need in this country is a non-violent tax revolt. Like any of these fucking states, any of these leftist ass states like that are trying to take away your rights and stuff like that, dude. Don't pay a fucking dime to them in taxes at all. Be like, fuck you. You're not getting a dime from me, dude. If anything, move out of these. If you can, physically move out of these fucking states, dude, entirely. Fuck them. Let them fucking burn, dude. Let them fucking live in their own fucking shit mess at this point and start funding, actual red states, constitutional carry states, etc., that give a shit about your constitutional rights is what it is, dude. Go to these places if you're a gun owner. Have the right to actually vote in good people again and not be fucking forced to have some asshole represent you that doesn't even represent you, dude, is what it is. They represent the fucking will of some dumbass major city that people live in, is what it is, dude. Or you have places like Illinois where it's literally run by Chicago, you know? Or it's fucking, you know, Michigan is run by Lansing area and stuff like that, depending here and there. Or specifically, it would be more like the left coast, the west coast cities and stuff like that, states and whatnot, where you got Seattle, Washington, or Portland, Oregon controlling those states is what it is, dude. Because it's such population dense, and they have, you know, gerrymandered like fucking crazy in those counties is what it is, dude. When you have, you know, where it should be, again, sort of like a one county, one rep thing, but instead there's like, you know, oh, hey, here's like 75 fucking various state reps all in this one county. Oh, why do we have 75 state reps? Because there's like X number of people here is what it is. And shocker, almost every single one was a Democrat, if not every single one of them a Democrat. It's the same thing with Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, for that matter, dude. They pretty much control PA, and what do they have? Dozens of fucking people in both those counties is what it is, dude. Yet, meanwhile, the actual red areas of the fucking state who actually give a shit about the Second Amendment get fucked over because of these dumbass major cities is what it is, dude. And that's why, honestly, we could have the debate right now or any other time for that matter, about city states and why you should actually have city states at this point in this country's history. And they control nothing outside of the county they exist in is what it is, dude. And even then, you have like basically this weird ass like permanent chalk line. Essentially, it would be, you know, a dividing kind of barricade, if you will, around these areas that are like, yeah, this is where you control to. Anything outside of this, you don't have any fucking power in, dude. And then tell them to fuck off after that's what it is, dude. And I guarantee you, you're going to have people being like, well, I don't want to be part of this fucking shitty ass city now. I'm not going to have any actual, you know, state control and stuff like that or whatever it is. And yeah, you're going to have those places crumble like fucking crazy and go down real quick is what it is, man. For real. And I've talked about it before here in Ohio, for that matter. You know, when you got fucking 32 Democrats in our state house right now, and they represent roughly 4 to 5 counties in this fucking state right now, dude. Because you have Cuyahoga, aka Cleveland, you got Franklin, aka Columbus, and you got Hamilton, aka Cincinnati, and then I think it's Toledo area, which I forget which county that's in, and then it's Dayton, which is down here somewhere on the map, and the 3 major C's, it's like 25, 26 people out of those ones, and then the other ones is like a couple apiece at this point. And it's like, I guarantee you, if we enacted a one county, one rep solution at this point, dude, you would have the Democrats lose so much fucking power here as a minority party. They would just be like, fuck it, you're a red state now. Just take it. Just be a one party state now. And then from there, we basically just take it and become like a 10-party state because we say, fuck the Republican Party too at this point, dude. And we started having open primaries and stuff like that. We started having internet libertarians, started having libertarians. We would start having Green Party people, etc. actually be able to be on the primary ballots is what it is, dude. You know? And I would love to see my internet libertarian political party finally recognized in the state because of that, dude. But it would take that to get it done, honestly. So, anyway. But yeah, needless to say, you basically have Democrats control about 4 to 6 counties, most likely, guaranteed. And then they maybe have like another 10 or so at most, depending here and there. Because you'd have like some swing counties and stuff like that where it's like half blue, half red and shit like that. Whereas other than that, for the most part, you would have every other city or you'd have every other county basically go hardcore fucking right is what it is, man. So, anywho, that's about where we're at, though. I'm going to go take a nap for a little bit, and then I'm going to get up in a few hours. I got some stuff I got to do today. And like I said, I'll be back later. Still a little bit messed up from last night. I decided to drink for the first time in a few weeks, which was the second time I drank this year. And last time it was basically the first time I drank in a few years, honestly, dude. And I don't know if it's the Martini and Rossi Osties alcohol count that's in those bottles, or if it's the actual me just not being a drinker. But yeah, it's just like, man, that shit, like it wasn't even like to begin with it impacted me, but it was like, you know, wait about a half hour to an hour or so, and it was like, damn, that shit is fucking, like, I'm not feeling nothing right now, dude. So, and I'm still like, you know, my body is technically like trying to soak up that little bit of liquor is what it is still right now, because I still feel a little bit, I wouldn't say buzzed or anything like that, but definitely like, I don't know, not completely like 100% sober yet is what I'm going to say on that one. Where if I did like a breath alcohol test, it'd probably be like it would be probably like below the legal limit, but it would still be like showing up on a breathalyzer is my guess, honestly, at this point, dude. So, anywho, yeah, I'm gonna go sleep that off pretty much, and then go do stuff here at some point later today is what it'll be. So, but other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and like I said, it's time to start demanding that state houses nationwide, that, you know, government itself at this point, whether it be federal or state level, it doesn't matter, honestly, but it needs to get started somewhere, that they actually do their jobs and start declaring Antifa a terrorist organization that it has been forever, dude, is what it is. So, other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go see if there's snowfall whenever the sun comes up here, because it's telling me that it's snowing right now. So, hopefully that doesn't happen too much until after I get things done today, because that would suck to be snowbound in this fucking house again, dude. It happened last year. I think it was last year. Like, it's 2023 now. It was either last year or the end of 2021, like wintertime and stuff like that. We were stuck here for like 2 weeks is what it was. And that was fucking horrible, dude. That was not a fun time at all. That was not a fun time for anybody. And we were pretty much running out of food when the time came to be. So, yeah, needless to say, it was a shit show. And thankfully, we didn't lose any power, but like, it was just not fun. Not fun at all to have to deal with that shit. But thankfully, those issues that happened that caused us to get stuck in the house, which obviously were a giant snowdrift in the front, and then the new door they had to put on after the robbery in the back, busted up and stuff like that. So that got taken care of. I think it was last summer, if I'm not mistaken, or the summer before that even. I can't remember how long it's been now. Let me think now. Robbery was 2021. It would have been last summer then that it was taken care of then, when it was all fixed up and whatnot. So, but yeah, we did what needed to be done there and got everything fixed and everything. And yeah, it's much better now is what it is. So, but that being said, you know, it was a pain in the ass either way. And yeah, just being stuck in the house, just not fun, man. Not fun for anybody. And especially when you start getting cabin fever, it's like, yeah, it's not good, man. Not good at all. And it's like, it's one thing if you can get, you know, out of a fucking home or whatever the case be, and just like go out into like, you know, cold weather or whatever. It's a whole other thing where it's like, no, you're just stuck here for X amount of time until all the shit melts away and whatever, and you can just get the hell out of it is what it is. And by the end, I was basically like digging and clawing with my bare hands to get the fuck out of here is what it was, dude. And eventually we ended up getting a shovel. I think we had a shovel in the house here someplace is what it was. And yeah, I was just literally standing at the front door, just fucking throwing shit off the fucking deck into the side of the tree line and stuff like that, being like, get me the fuck out of here. And eventually just cleared a path is what it was. Unfortunately, there was a lot of fucking ice underneath that snow last year. We almost fell a couple of times. And thankfully we got some salt down after that then and whatnot, and we're able to come back into the house later on then and, you know, do what needs to be done then, and yeah, get a few things together and make a few trips after that and get things together and finally, you know, be back at the house again. So, but other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next one.